got a package here from the UK, it looks like. I'm not sure. There's a signature here, I can't quite read it, so hopefully there's a note inside who this is from. So there's a slip in here. Let's see what we have here. Here is a whole bag full of English breakfast tea. Definitely from the UK. This is nice, the real deal, the real thing. I do like tea. And we've got here some black duct tape. And we've got a tea strainer from China. What do we got here? Oh, you know what? The timing of this is perfect. This is amazing. We are going to plant tomorrow. I know it's late, but we're going to have a second planting tomorrow. And here's our salad and basil, which I don't actually have yet, and parsley. Thank you. And what do we got here? Oh, nice survival blanket. And we have here a USB charger. Very good. Got some terminal strips. Definitely useful for all this wiring I'm doing all the time. Thank you. And what do we have here? Let's see, we have a box full of goodies here. Oh, wow. Oh, this is exciting. Little LED lamps. I still need some more lights for my RV. Oh, I love my LED lighting. This is nice. Let me see. Get to these one at a time here. This is going to work for my vanity. Oh, perfect. Look at that. I can't wait to try these out. My bathroom vanity needs LED lights. Look at that. 3 of them. And that's what goes in the vanity. Look at that. Well, thank you. What do we got here? We've got an LED flashlight. Let me see. Batteries included. And it's nice and bright. It's metal too. You don't see metal flashlights anymore. Let me see. Was it got a battery? Oh, this is going to be for the cat. Laser pointer. Well, thank you, Wayne Chadwick, for a whole mess of good stuff. I think I'm going to have some tea tonight. Thank you very much. This is something I have been anxiously waiting for. It finally arrived today. It's been in town for a while, but it just got in today. I knew this was coming. This is the black Berkey water filters. These things, with 2 of these you can filter 6,000 gallons of water. This is good. Tomorrow we are going to make the water filter kit using 2 5-gallon buckets and the black Berkey water filters. So stay tuned for some good stuff. This is from James. I'll show you a YouTube name down below. Thank you so much. I have been anxiously looking forward to this. The water here, from the rainwater, you can't drink the rainwater pure, and the water at the house has become contaminated with something, and it tastes like poison. Thank you very much. Right?
We got a few more over there. I didn't bring them all over.
Oh, can you go grab them, please?
Yeah, sure.
I need to know how much we have available so we know how
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I just discovered that this screw is incredibly hot. I cannot hold my finger on it. I found out that my diodes here, are way too hot. So I have to rework this system. I've got the 4 panels and I've got maximum summer sunlight, and it's overheating this whole setup. So I've got to rework the system and triple up my diodes, and I'm going to hook up my 4 panels in series. Right now there's 2 sets of 24 volts, which makes 48 volts each. These 2 are hooked up to be 48 volts, and then the 2 above my head are hooked up as 48 volts. And I want to hook them all up together to be 100 volts, and I'll gain more maximum power at the camper, which is way back there. What would you say that is? 100 foot, 200 feet?
100 foot.
At least about 100 feet?
Yeah.
So I've got about 100 feet of wire, this wire running all the way through there. So I've got losses in the lines for sure, with all that current going through these thinner wires. So I'm going to try to rewire this for better, well, to take away the heat from this thing and to have less losses in the lines. I just finished wiring the solar panels outside. Now I've got 650 watts coming in at 50 amps. Now I should be able to look at the amount of power Whoops, it dropped. See, there must be a cloud went over. So I'm pulling in 600 watts right now. What I did, all I did is wired my solar panels in series. So now I have 100 volts coming in. I thought I could see the input voltage from the panels, but I can't find the settings. I'll have to check my book because I've never checked. But anyway, I'm pulling in well over 600 watts now. I'm pulling in an easy, steady 50 amps right now in the sun. And the sun is not directly over the panels yet. So I have to really be careful today when the sun comes up, because what I did is I had a lot of losses in the lines the way this was wired. And I had some diodes on those panels that was also causing losses because the diodes were overheating. The wires were overheating. Everything was just a mess out there. So I've got a whole lot more energy now than I had before. Okay, I just turned on the air conditioner. I'm pulling in almost 400 watts from the air conditioner. And I've got 650 watts coming in from the solar panels. So now I'm still charging the batteries. Well, there's a cloud went over. You can see that happens. Now I'm only pulling in 200 watts. Oh, there it comes back up. So I'm still charging the batteries right now with the air conditioner on. See, the air conditioner cycles up in watts as it runs. It starts pulling more and more watts as the compressor starts to run. I don't know exactly why that is, but that'll eventually go up and up and up until it hits 500 watts, its maximum current draw. But right now I'm pulling in 50 amps of current and well over 600 watts of solar. There's 650. So I can run the air conditioner as long as it's sunny, full blast. And again, the air conditioner is intermittent. It's a 30% duty cycle roughly. So I can leave that on all day without any harm to the batteries, and I'll still charge them up. And again, as I said, the sun is not yet directly overhead. I'm going to take you outside right now and show you what's going on. I'm afraid, though, I don't know if I can see. Now we're reaching almost going to hit 700 watts. So I don't know what's going to happen if I hit too many watts coming into this TriStar. So I got to be careful. I got the Berkey water filters, and right now, because I need drinking water in the camper, I know you can do the 5-gallon bucket jobs, but right now I want to use one filter and just get some drinking water. So I've got this sun tea jar I got at a garage sale for $1. Actually, I got this for free because it was after the sale, which is cool. But I got this sun tea jar with a flat lid, which is perfect for drilling a hole through. And I have this pretzel container that I kept. I didn't know why I kept it at the time, but I'm happy I did, because it fits just about perfect on that jar, and it'll hold the water filter element. So these two together will be a perfect setup to filter drinking water for now. I'll probably do the 2-bucket setup later, but for now this will give me drinking water today in a quick hurry, and I can set it up inside the camper, and the footprint is low enough that it won't take up as much space for drinking water inside. Because I do not drink the water that comes out of the tap in the camper, because that's the old plastic tanks and it tastes like plastic, and you know that can't be good for you. Now I've got my filter here, and I've got a drill bit that hopefully is going to fit that spout size just right. What I'm going to do is attempt to drill through this here. Dead center. The problem is there's a plastic tab on that, which is annoying me. I want to drill dead center on this. I want to drill a pilot hole to put the filter through into here. Hopefully that'll fit this nozzle. I need a little bit bigger. I don't have the right size drill bit for this, unfortunately. Oh, that'll work. Now let me see here. I think the instructions say a 1-inch hole in one container, but this one doesn't have a larger hole. Alright, so now I'm going to put this in here. And I think I'm going to attach both containers together. So I want to drill the same size hole in the lid of this container, right in the middle. Now, so it's got to be a little bit bigger. Now hopefully this will fit together nicely here. I'll screw this together. Now we've got the filter element inside the housing here. There's the top half of the water filter. So I've got this is a sun tea jar that I had laying around. It happened to have a perfect flat lid, which I think is absolutely perfect for this setup. Turn that away. So there's my assembled water filter. Now I've got a bucket of water. Actually, there are some dirt particles in here. This is rainwater. I'm going to try not to pour the dirt particles directly in there, but there's some unfiltered rainwater that I've been collecting off my rainwater collection system, and it wasn't actually drinkable before because of all the garbage that's in there. So I'm just going to pour this in here. Now it took a while for that to start, but let me focus in on this. We now have water dripping through the filter. Now, oh, there's critters in there. Wow, there's actually creatures. This is definitely a good test. It's a good thing I didn't drink that. There are creatures in my water. I'm going to have to put some chlorine in there later. Now this filter element takes out chlorine. But that's my rainwater. I didn't know there was stuff living in it. So that shows you that even rainwater could be contaminated and impure straight out of your bucket. So the filter it's not a fast filter, and I believe that's why they use 2 of these in a 5-gallon bucket in order to give you enough drinking water in any reasonable time. And I'm sure as this filter element becomes wet and moistened from the water, it'll start soaking through faster. It took a minute for it to even start to flow. But as you can see, we now have pure, clean, filtered water coming through here, and it's starting to collect on the bottom. And in a few minutes I'll come back to you and we'll try out some of our clean drinking water. Not sure if you can see the strings I've put in here. I'm running threads all through here to allow my plants to grow upwards. I'm bringing my tomatoes upwards, securing them with ropes so that they can grow like the others did. They're massive now. PJ is out mowing the lawn. He's going to clean up this whole meadow for us. We've reworked the solar panels today so that they are now they're wired. I've got all the solar panels laid out. We chose the best ones here, and we've got 100 volts together. There's 4 panels wired together to give 100 volts going through the wire, so there's less loss. And I'm getting as much as 750 watts into the batteries, so that's good. Now I'm taking my vines here and running them up the wires that I'm running, and my peas as well. They need to climb, so I have to continue running some more strings here. These strings I'm going to continue running for the lower level so the peas can start to climb, and the beans as well. These are all climbers, and I have to allow them to climb so they can bear more fruit. And the vines, I'll be rerouting these as well up inside here. And I need a couple more stakes so I can finish this project, so I have to go and look for some, and then I can finish wiring these up. Well, my water filter is still dripping slow and steady. It's been about 40 minutes maybe, and it's only filtered that much water yet, so it's a very slow, very thorough filter. It's good. I believe that's going to be some good drinking water. I can't wait because I'm dehydrated. It's hot out right now, and we ran out of water this morning. The 2.5 gallon jugs that I had purchased ran out this morning, so we're waiting for this. I'd like to show you something, because everybody says I should have my awning out to protect the RV from the sun. But notice, the only thing in the sun is the awning, funny enough. So by having my awning out, all I'm doing is ruining it in the sun. So I'm going to put it away today. But I wanted to show you that on video first. Let me hold this up as high as it'll go so you can see that. That awning is full in the sun, and the RV does not get any sun during the day. So I'm just going to fold it away and leave it away for now, because honestly all I'm doing is ruining it right now. And another thing is, I'll tell you what, that thing actually sitting in the sun is actually making it hotter. Because right here, there's an oven up here, and this hot air is pouring into the RV from up here. This superheated air right up here, actually I can feel it on my face down about 2 feet below. This is creating an oven right here. It's really hot. I can't tell you how hot it is underneath this thing. And it's heating the inside of the RV. So I guess if your RV was in the sun it might help you, but right now this is hot. This is doing more harm than good. TJ is out washing his laundry out by the creek. Yeah, he's been cutting the meadow down. He's going to cut this whole meadow to keep the deer down for us so we don't have as many ticks out here. And sadly, since I rewired the panels, now it's overcast, so my batteries are not topping off like they would have. Later on I want to get some heavier wire and wire these panels up for maximum output for morning and evening. I'll have 2 panels facing the morning sun, 2 panels facing the evening sun, and 4 for midday sun. That way I'll have more power output throughout the day. Now right here you can see what I've been doing. Raising up all of my vines and my peas and beans to weave in and out of this netting that I've made here. I've lifted up all of my plants, and I've exposed some beetles which are causing destruction. I see a beetle on there I have to remove. Good, now I can see what's going on and see damaging insects better. So this little garden turned out a little bit more dense than I had expected, because the beans in the middle are really thick, dense leaves. And they're supposed to climb the corn, but instead they're spreading out, so I have to train them. But anyway, there's that one, and then this one is growing a lot of nice tomatoes. These are the ones I started myself from seedlings, and I had to prop them up. They started to fall out. This whole middle thing was filled with all my plants that had fallen over across the middle. The tomatoes were laying across the ground, and they'll grow taller and bear much more fruit now that they're able to climb. And same here, I've taken this was the what was it called, Trail of Tears garden that somebody from YouTube sent me. It was some old ancient Indian seeds, and what I've got here is various beans, 2 different types of beans if I remember right, and some cucumbers and corn. Sadly only 1 corn stalk came up out of them all, but the cucumbers are turning out well, and the beans are in there somewhere. I'm trying to train the beans to grow up as well in here. I still have some more lines I'm going to run in a couple of these. I finished this one pretty well. No, in the middle I have to run a couple more lines so the beans can climb up higher. And yeah, this one as well in the middle. I ran out of stakes, so I got this gigantic stake that I found, so I can finish running strings across the middle so things can climb higher. Just for comparison, you can see, I mean, those tomatoes are humongous. I don't know if you see the how big they are in comparison here, but they're huge, those ones back there. Now TJ started raking a bit today. I'm inside working, well I should say I'm outside working on the garden here. I'm wiring all this up while he's working on the lawn and working on trying to get the rocks out of here, out of the garden, and we hope to plant this week. the two squash plants have really spread out. There's one, I don't know if that's a squash or a melon yet. There's one big one right there. It's the only thing that grew because they keep getting killed off by the rot. And we've had a few days without severe rain, and that's got one growing. I see a couple more smaller ones on the ends. We'll see if they grow or not, I hope. My zucchini plant started rotting on the vine. All the fruit started rotting on the vine. I don't know why. There's a nice fruit. I think that's a watermelon. Now these plants were given to me as a gift, so I'm not sure which is which. But I think that looks like a watermelon to me. And here's a different colored fruit on this one. So these are starting to grow and bear fruit. Oh, now see, the insects are starting to eat them. It's annoying. There's little fruits growing all over in here. There's a little fuzzy fruit. So these are climbing up as I wanted. These are climbing up through here, up into here, and bearing fruit along inside there. The tomatoes, I don't know, it's hard for you. Somebody criticized me and said just because you have a couple tomatoes here and there doesn't mean it's success. Well, let me see if I can show you. Here's one, there's one, there's one, there's a couple side by side. It's hard to see because it's so green in here, green on green. There's one, there's two side by side, and I mean there could be more. Again, it's been a weird odd year, so the weather hasn't been perfect. There's a little one coming, there's one down in there. They're there, it's just not as easy to see. And we'll see, I guess. I expect to get more. Over here there's a couple here and there, not as much as I would like. There's one there, there's one there. Hopefully they'll produce much more, because these plants over here didn't produce much of anything at all, just a couple. There's a beefy tomato, but they just didn't produce as much. They're still starting to flower, so maybe they will yet. And with this, all the rain we had, I don't know. I just don't know how it's going to turn out. My peppers sadly got overshadowed by the tomatoes, so that didn't turn out as well. There's one of the peppers. I don't think he's going to have a chance of giving me anything. I guess we'll see. There's a little pepper growing on this one. I don't know if I can focus on there. There's a little pepper growing. We'll see if these have a chance. My onions are still not bulbing yet. They've got some nice roots, but there's no, they're not very large yet. So I guess they have to grow a while longer. Yeah, there's a little bulb on that one. These are supposed to be a couple inches round when they grow. So we'll see how that works out. And these ones, let me see. Yeah, there's a little onion. Not very big yet. I hope they'll continue growing. They seem to be growing well. There's a lot of green. A whole lot of green. So I guess we'll see at the end of the year. And these squash plants are finally putting out some fruit. I don't know if you can see down in there. It's really dense jungle. A lot of them are rotting on the vine, and I just don't know why. I've never had my vines rot on the vine like this year. And oops, can't really see in there. It's really dense vines. Here's one rotting on the vine. I don't know why. I'm just going to have to keep cutting off the bad ones. Well, it fell off actually on its own, so that's good. The chickens have been getting the zucchinis that die off. You can see a couple in there, a couple fingers right there. But I took off all of them so far and gave them all to the birds because they're rotting. I think I'm going to reach in here and check the potatoes and see if there's any fruit. So let me see. Oh, look at that. There's a potato. I don't know how big they'll get yet. Keep them covered. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, a piece of junk. I don't know how much. I don't want to really disturb these. I want to let them grow. There's some potatoes in there. So I'll let these continue to grow. Now these ones here, these are going to be hard to get to because I buried them. I'll have to dig them out. Maybe that wasn't such a wise idea. Somebody told me you have to bury your potatoes deeply. Well, didn't do me any good. It killed off my plants. So that wasn't any good. They all died, every one of them. That's nothing, it's rot. Every one of them. I think I'll have to just dig this bed up. No point in waiting around. This is an unused bed now. I can replant in here. Dig down there and see if there's any potatoes. Every one of them died. Every one of the potatoes from here died. I might have... no, that one's rotting. Yeah, it rotted. They all died off, every one. So that was a mess. Now the ones that didn't get buried are still somewhat growing. A couple of them didn't get buried much, and they're still growing. So burying was a bad idea. Now I'll dig this out and see what I can find in there later on. Maybe I'll get lucky and maybe there's some potatoes down in there. I hope you can see those lines. All those strings I put across. I'm going to train everything to grow up. The tomatoes were laying down across the middle. As I said from the other side when I was over there, this was completely filled up with all these plants were laying down over the sides. These vines were growing out into the middle of the garden here. I'll be able to harvest the fruits of the vines better with them growing upwards, and I do believe from my experience they'll grow a lot more food when they rise up like that. There's some nice beans up in the middle there. My peas actually are a couple feet tall already, but they were laying down into the grass here. I've helped them up and they're growing up along the vines and the corn, so that's doing exactly as I would hoped. Look at that, that's a nice sized pea already, so hopefully they'll do alright. All these vines were laying out here deep into the grass, and I've raised them up and worked them up into the ropes. Here's a nice long one. I'm going to actually train this to run across in the middle along the ropes. That'll be cool to have it run along like that. Now that it's so dry again, the last couple of days my beets are actually dying. You get extremes. You get too much water and then you get too much intense heat. And it's just really bad extremes out here this year. Now these tomatoes, these I think are cherries, and they're liking it. Look at that, that's a nice mess of tomatoes. These are doing very well. Look at that, there's another nice clump of tomatoes growing. And so these are good. These are all going to have a lot of food. Well, it's been a couple hours and I've got, I think this is just less than a gallon, so I've got just over a third of a gallon after a couple hours of filtering with this. So I'm going to try, this is my first drink of rainwater that I've been filtering this whole summer. This will be my first drink ever of my own rainwater. Finally, this is independence right here. This is my last tie to the outside world. I was hauling water by hand from my landlady's house all this time until the well went bad, and then I was purchasing water. This severs the last tie. Let's see how it tastes. Looks good. Not a thing in it. Well, tastes clean and pure. Rainwater has a nice taste in the first place. And since this is filtered, it should be pretty safe to drink. It tastes alright anyway. This is going to be good to have my own water finally. This is a good thing. Well, it's late afternoon. I'm still pulling in about 40 amps, 537 watts. I have nothing running though. I'm letting the batteries top off because I'm outside working anyway. I figure I'll just let these batteries top off. Now look at that. Those are 80 degrees in the shade and close to the ground. So that should give you an idea how hot it is at air level. It's 80 down there. That's hot. Well, anyway, I'm pulling in some nice power with the new wiring setup that I did. I would normally not be having this much power this time in the afternoon. This is good. Well, after some coaxing and work, I got the old generator running again. I just fired it up. It has no choke, so it has to warm up a bit. It'll smooth out some, but it's pretty rough. I mean, it's old. The carburetor isn't in good shape at all. It could use a new carburetor, but it runs. It'll run my vacuum cleaner, and that's what I need. And right now I'm going to run a grinder, a cutoff wheel. These pegs on the floor have to come off. These used to hold the seat belts to the old sofa. There was actually a four-seater sofa in here with seat belts attached. It was pretty cool, really. But anyway, I've got to cut off these pegs so I can continue the work here and finish painting. I can't paint around them. So I'll get out my cutoff wheel and see if we can get this done. Safety, protection. I couldn't find all my glasses, but I had this little Mowed thing. Well, that was funny. I didn't expect that. That's very convenient. I couldn't break them loose for anything. I was beating on them and beating on them. Cut it off and it falls right to the floor. That's convenient. Should have recorded this. I just pounded these right out. Well, that one's still got to go down a bit. And that one fell right out. But this one's hitting something. There's something down there. So I have to go down underneath and figure out what's under there. The other popped right out. There's another hole straight through the ground. So only one's giving me any trouble. It's funny because I was beating on them earlier and I couldn't turn them. I couldn't twist them. I tried turning them. I tried pulling, beating on them with a hammer, twisting. Nothing happened. funny enough, after cutting them off, I loosened up the wood enough, so good, whatever, it works. Well, that explains, see, there's the one that fell through the floor after I was cutting it. Now I know why it didn't want to go through the floor. They were bolted through, so I wasn't being a total idiot. I felt very foolish when I when I was cutting on that and all of a sudden it fell through the floor. I felt very foolish, but this does explain why they didn't want to go, which worries me why the others popped right through so easily. That scares me. Now this is hitting something down there, so I don't know what's down there. I can't see. The mosquitoes started eating me as soon as I walked out back. The mosquitoes are very, very bad in the afternoon and evening. I have to get out there early in the morning if I want to crawl around under there and not be bloodied up. Well, anyway, all of these others fell out. This one won't budge at all, so obviously that one's screwed in nicely and it's going to give me some trouble. These others all popped right out of there. The other thing though is there's supposed to be a subfloor. There's a metal sheet under these things, so I'm not sure what kind of, if it caused any damage down there doing this. So I have to get down there and look and see what I did. But now I can paint without obstruction, and that's a good thing. Oh, TJ, how's it going?
Well, you've had me walk through the forest twice because you decided to dump your water into the...
He went and got us some creek water that we could filter for drinking, and I decided to use it for washing.
Yeah, you know, that is my dinner water. The heat out here, even without the humidity during the day, is amazing.
Yeah, honestly, you didn't get a lot done today. You managed to mow the lawn.
Yeah, in about 4 shifts.
So, I mean,
I got some hoeing done.
Not very much though. Honestly, you got about, I think, a 6 foot by 3 foot strip. So, the real deal is it's hard out here, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to explain, but when you get out here and you start working, the heat is a killer.
And the bugs.
I think the mosquitoes.
Yeah, you're going down to the creek run next.
The bugs out here are insane.
The mosquitoes up here don't like me, but down there?
Yeah, look, they're biting me right. That's why the camera keeps shaking. The bugs are biting me right now. But I mean, seriously, let's go out to the meadow here and have a look at what a day and a half of work brought us. Seriously, it doesn't look like much. We've got the meadow mowed back here. Well, I should say TJ, he did all the mowing. Now, we're using a push mower, which you wouldn't think that's a big deal. There's the push mower.
It's got to be about 1.5 acres, yes? I'm
not sure. It's a large meadow. See, he got this all mowed by hand today.
Well, I had half of it done yesterday.
Well, yeah, just this back. All he did today was this back spot right here. And seriously, that took a better part of today. Now, he helped me. You saw me start out this morning with him and put up these stakes. We put up these stakes this morning together, and then I continued and put up the threads going across and crisscross, and then I raised the plants. And he got some hoeing done. I don't know if you can see here, just this little bit of hoeing. And seriously,
get some food and water into me, I'll perk up.
But you can't. You don't want to kill yourself. You got to do it in little bits. This took me quite a few hours here, because you can work out when the sun is shining. You can work a little bit at a time, and you're done. And the sun is up here in the meadow by 9 a.m. Now, our only other option is to become nocturnal, but the bugs are nocturnal, and so you really got to pick and choose your options here. Right now, the bugs it's tolerable a little bit. Morning hours is alright, but it's really tough.
Nighttime sleeping in the RV was great.
Yeah, I'm upset. He got to use my RV for the first time last night. He's using the bed in here and said it was actually more comfortable than my camper. So, yeah, and the bugs didn't come in. We don't have the screens on, but the bugs didn't come in there. I don't know why. Maybe they don't like paint. No, they do like paint. That we found out the other day. But maybe that's why they're not bothering him, because they're after the paint. Well, anyway, I'm going to finish painting the baseboards now. I got those metal things out of the way, and finish painting in here. The first coat, I didn't do this stuff up here yet, and then I'll finish the white painting tomorrow, and then the living room will be done, painted. I also, now that I got my generator running, I can continue cleaning down inside all these little cubby holes and crevices and stuff. And actually, this RV should be done, like the majority of the work should be finished by the end of this week. And renovation, like repairs and rebuilding, putting up new material here, can begin. So it's moving along. Slowly, but it's moving along. It's looking nice. It's looking really good. So maybe next week I can even start moving in. I'll still have little stuff like that. Heater's got to come out. It has to come completely out, and that's going to be quite a job. I'm going to try to vacuum what I can out of it, but the heater blower motor is packed full of a mouse nest, stuffed tight, and that is going to have to be removed.